so I guess this is a bonus episode or a full episode. I guess Editing Joe will figure that out later.
Depends on how late we stay up. Because our brains are resetting, because there's like zero electronics.
Yeah.
So you have to like go based on the sun and shit.
So this is the Craft Parenting Podcast. I'm Joe.
I'm Caroline.
And we are broadcasting via my phone because I don't want to set up the equipment.
Well, we'd be setting it up by candlelight. We're doing everything by candlelight right now.
Yeah, the power's out. We just had a huge rainstorm.
Followed by some wind.
Yeah.
And the wind seems to be what did us in.
Yeah, so we're in the new house and we have no power. So we have a crowler. What are we drinking?
Listermann's Dunkle. I'm pretty sure it's just called Dunkle. That's what they put on the can.
It is 5.4%. And it's like a month old.
It's from Dan Listermann retiring.
So it's actually Listermann's Dunkle,
Yes.
not some random people we don't know who they are as Dunkle. So that's something we can talk about, Dan Listermann retiring.
Yeah, I mean, he deserves it. He should be able to chill. Yeah, it's just a junk. It's just a Dunkle. So.
It's roasty. There's not really light, but it's, from what I can tell, it's very dark.
Can't see through it.
I'm pretty sure if we had light, I couldn't see through it. But
yeah. I can't see the candle through the beer. That's the important thing.
So we have that. And
yeah, because we went there for Elliot's birthday. Well, not for Elliot's birthday. Around Elliot's birthday, because we took Elliot to Taft's Emporium for his birthday so he could watch trains. And then we hoped the kids would nap in the car and drove to Listermann.
They did nap, I thought.
They napped on the way home from Listermann.
Oh, yeah.
They did not nap while I was inside Listermann.
Well, the good thing about that is they said that the homebrew shop isn't doing anything.
Like the homebrew shop is going to stay.
Everything is status quo.
That's good. And like Alan's already posted something with the new owners about stuff, so like he's still around, and he did a lot of the stuff with the homebrew shop anyway, I think.
Yeah, I was curious about that. Like, are they two separate businesses? I guess on paper they would be, but owned by the same person, aka Dan Listermann.
Yeah. Which
is now owned by the new owners. I would assume that they would be two separate leases.
I think it's all the same building.
It's the same building, but does he own the building? Or did he own the building? I would assume it's two separate businesses. Like, just from a governmental standpoint. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm assuming that, that they would keep that open. It's like literally everyone who has brewed started at Listermann. So it would be a tragedy if they closed.
Very much so. Oh no, this was after the announcement.
Huh?
They announced on February 2nd that Dan and Sue were going to retire. Now it's Terry and Steve Ibsen. So this is post-retirement beers.
I heard a crash. I don't hear any kids, though.
No, the kids are fine. I'm, like, 75% sure that Elliot's lamp was not on in his room before the power went out. And I am like 95% sure that I turned off Lily's lamp because her lamp was on when we left the house. But it'll be interesting to see when the power comes back what lights are on. Because I'm pretty sure I turned off most of the lights in the kitchen. But I don't think I turned off any of the lights in the living room. So we'll just kind of see what kind of house we wake up to. I mean, we'll have to see whether or not we have power, too. Because as of right now, like the last time I checked Duke's website, I don't know when we're getting power back. Because they don't know when we're getting power back. So, yay!
Or they haven't updated the website.
Yeah. Maybe I could sign up for text alerts or something.
I signed up for text alerts. I don't know if it worked.
Well, did you get a text alert when the power went? Well, did they know that we moved?
I literally just signed up.
Oh. Yeah.
But they didn't say you're signed up. Like, they didn't send a confirmation text.
Probably because their system's currently broken because everybody's using it. I mean, the number of people that don't have power is going down. Because it was like 52,000 and now it's down to 41,000 in the tri-state area. But there's still our giant square that says, I guess technically rectangle, that says 2,000 people.
If you look up Bridgetown too, Bonnie and Zach's neighborhood is out.
Yeah. Our old house.
I'm pretty sure it's Bonnie and Zach's neighborhood.
Yes,
it's
it
literally
is.
Just Bonnie and Zach's neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean there's
That's
lots
weird.
of trees on the road that are pretty old, so I'm pretty sure there's at least a few trees that came down. There is a creek near our house, like a pretty substantial creek. And I made the mistake of driving the road by said creek
Yeah, don't do
to
that.
go pick Lily up from school during the monsoon rains. And the road was covered in two separate places, though not much, and just like lots and lots of water. And then like I looked at the creek and I was like, hey, this creek is really high. And then I look over and like somebody who has a meadow by their house that's by the creek had a trailer and a Jeep parked in the meadow by the creek.
Oh no.
And the water was almost up to the window of the Jeep. Like the tires were covered.
Oh my god.
And it was working its way up the door of the Jeep.
Like, was the engine submerged?
Oh yeah, the engine was submerged.
Oh yeah, that's
So,
not good.
No bueno. Their Jeep might not be working anymore. I don't know. But we did not take that way home from preschool. And
Imagine having a electric car.
oh yeah, that would suck.
Wouldn't it be on fire?
Well, they say you gotta be careful.
You can't. Those fires don't come out.
Yeah, I mean, they say you have to be careful, like, after a hurricane, like, a few months after a hurricane, when if you're buying a used car, you have to, like, double check the Carfax for the vehicle, because it could be that you're getting a refurbished vehicle that survived the hurricane, but barely. And so you're getting, like, this car that was super water damaged that might have more problems that just haven't popped up yet.
Oh jeez.
This Dunkle is really yummy, though.
It's toasty.
It's toasty, yeah.
It's smooth. It's Bachfest weekend.
It is, and they had to they canceled the main Bachfest events, which, I mean, they kind of had to, because Bachfest Hall is now a tent, and we've had severe rains and heavy wind all day, so there's no way you could do anything in a fest tent today. And actually, they said that they took the fest tent down, but they're going to put it back up for tomorrow. So they're still planning on doing stuff Saturday and Sunday.
Yikes. That means where the tent is, it's going to be just mud.
Yeah, maybe we're not going to go to Bachfest this year. I was like real adamant that we were going to go out at least on Sunday. But if everything's a mud pit, I don't know if I'm willing to experience that with the children.
Yeah, if they took it down.
Though if they left it up, it would have blown away. Because some of those winds were intense. It was pretty cute when we got home from the fish fry. Well, picking up food from the fish fry. Elliot put his hand on the hood of his rain jacket and ran into the garage. Like, don't let me blow away. Because it was very windy.
He might have blown away.
There's a chance. Well, our kids are so huge, I doubt it. But, like when we got home, I was like, oh, hey, the power blipped at some point. Because I had to reset the clock on the TV, on the oven and the microwave. And then the TV wigged out because I had left the PlayStation on so I could just hit play to distract the kids while we set up dinner when we got home. The PlayStation was like, you didn't turn me off right. And then as we're eating dinner, the power blips again. We're like, do we know where all the candles are? I don't know.
Flashlight.
Let's at least go find a flashlight. And then as we're finishing up dinner, it blips again. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go light a candle and make sure that I know where the rest of the candles are. And then you call the parents to check in on the parents to see how all they are doing.
Yeah, that was the week from hell. At least the beginning of the week. But we can talk about that later.
And get off the phone with them. Start finding something for the kids to watch on TV before we go to bed. And start doing our bedtime routine. And then the power goes out.
For good.
For good.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, flashlights, candles. Thinking like, okay, maybe by the time we get all these candles lit, the power's going to come back on. No, power's still out. Elliot keeps pointing at the TV and saying Barney.
Yeah, we were watching Barney. We found a cute Barney.
Lily has no concept of what life without electricity means. Because I think the few times the power has gone out, like, we've been able to do other stuff quite easily, like, without her noticing. Or, like, she's been sleeping, so she doesn't notice. And she's like, well, we just turn on the TV. It's like, well, honey, the TV doesn't work because the electricity isn't on. And the TV needs electricity to work. So we ran around the house with flashlights because the kids loved that.
Luckily, Mr. Paranoid over here keeps flashlights around.
Hey, we bought those from one of our farm trips where the power went out at the farm.
I know, but Mr. Prepared, who bought first aid kits.
Hey, I knew where all of my candles were. So, those helped.
Just saying, they came in handy.
Yeah. And we were going to try to put the kids to bed in the same room. And they were not having anything of that because they were too interested in hanging out with each other. So they're
mostly
sleeping.
Elliot.
Yeah, mostly Elliot. Elliot's just here to party. But now everybody's sleeping in their own rooms. And hopefully, if power comes back on in the middle of the night, their lights in their room are turned off. So it's not like the lights come on, and then they're like, I debated unplugging his lamp, but then I would have had to move the dresser, and that wasn't going to happen.
Oh, is it plugged in there?
Yeah, but I'm 75% sure it was not turned on, and I was only using the overhead light. But we'll see. I'm pretty sure I turned off our lamps in our bedroom.
We're gonna wake up at 3 a.m.
Yeah, with all the lights on. Like, what?
The fire alarms might chirp too. Like, it may be traumatic.
Yeah.
Because we currently have them unplugged, but there's a couple that chirped, at least when the power blipped.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. And like, I'm pretty sure I turned off the main lights in the house, but now I don't know. So we'll just see. I mean, our power bill right now is really, really low. Because we're using no power. And both of our parents were like, well, you can come to our house. And we're like, no, it's fine. There's, it's not cold enough or hot enough outside to say that we need to go somewhere that has power.
Yeah, if this was around Christmas, for example, last year, that was when we had like the sub-zero weather.
Yeah. Like, if it was ridiculously cold outside, it'd be like, okay, everybody get in the van. We're picking a grandparent's house, and that's where we're going to stay tonight.
Though neither grandparents have beds for us.
No, they don't. We'd just be crashing on couches and floors. But yeah, so it's been a crazy week.
Well, the beginning of the week was crazy.
Yeah, Joe's dad got surgery a week and a half ago.
It was pretty routine. It was on his knee. He
Yeah.
has a knee replacement.
And they were going in to tune up the knee replacement.
Yeah, these days you don't even need to cut anything. You just scope it, right?
I have no idea. I am not a doctor, and I don't play one on TV. But everything went really routine with that. But he had some complications that arose a few days later because of the surgery and other things that had happened. And
He had a reaction to medication.
had a reaction to some medication he was on due to the surgery.
Pretty serious reaction, actually.
Yeah, got taken away by a squad to the emergency room. Joe's mom at the time had COVID, so she couldn't be anywhere near him.
Yeah, that's what started this a week ago. You got the call.
Yeah, I'm at work. It's Friday.
My mom's watching the kids.
I'm trucking through stuff, and she's like, hey, BT Dubs, I just tested positive for COVID. And I'm like, sweet.
This was a few days after my dad had surgery, so I guess we should have started there. Dad did surgery. Mom, who's watching our kids,
Test positive for
tests
COVID.
positive for COVID.
And we're like, okay, gotta get the kids out of there. So I take off work to go get the kids and bring the kids home. Fortunately, none of us have had anything pop up because of that.
Knocking on wood, yeah.
But we'll see what happens. So then, when Joe's mom on Monday was all like, we're like, well, none of this sounds like COVID, so hopefully he doesn't have COVID. Because she tried to stay separate after she found out that she had COVID. And so Joe's brother and sister followed him to the hospital. Once I got home from work on Monday, Joe was able to also go to the hospital. And they were back and forth on whether or not they were going to admit him. And I'm like, you can't send him home. He is in no condition to get sent home.
Well, they just wouldn't give us an answer.
Yeah.
Everyone in the ER was just very apathetic. Except for the front counter person. She was like super enthusiastic about the rules.
And no more than 2 guests in a room.
One guest.
Oh, 1 guest.
Yeah, according to her, it was 1.
Well,
She was extremely strict about it. And of course, she had the cop there.
yeah,
Because I guess crazy people go to the ER.
they do. Case in point, your family was there.
Well,
Ha 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 ha.
I was there. Yeah. And she's like, you're not allowed to get back there. I'm like, I'm going back to see my dad. Yeah, they let me through. The way they designed this ER, the room that she supposedly opens, it's like 30 feet directly to the left of her. Like, she can't see who goes in and out.
Yeah,
I'm assuming she has cameras, though.
I'd assume so.
But I didn't see any. Like, I didn't see any monitors or anything. Or maybe it was on her computer. Um, but so she let me in. And I told my sister and my brother, for the record, I said, when she opens that door, follow me. Okay? So she opens the door. She's like, go on back. And I went back, and my sister eventually followed me. My brother, I guess, was not paying attention, so he got left behind. And of course, the doors automatically close and they lock. But my sister and I went back there, and we saw him in the emergency room in the bed. And then this nurse, this front desk person, she comes back like 20 minutes later, saying, Are they bothering, like, to the nurse who was in my dad's room, are they bothering you? You know, I told them there's only supposed to be one person back here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was just very mean. And then my dad's ER nurse, she was just very apathetic. I asked questions. She gave, like, one-word answers. She was just not... You could kind of tell that she didn't want to be there. Maybe she was tired, but it was the beginning of her shift, so
Yeah.
she shouldn't have been tired. And you don't do doubles as a nurse. You work 12 hours as it is. Yeah, just everyone was very apathetic. They didn't ask my dad anything because they finally, said, we're going to admit you. My mom called the squad around 4 o'clock that day. And so he got to the ER around maybe 5:30, 6
Mm-hmm.
that night. And they finally said, we're going to admit you to the hospital at 11:30. And that's when the nurse practitioner came in and asked Dad what was going on. Like, they didn't even ask him, like, what hurts, what's going on with you, why are you here? Because well, the ER doctor came in at 7, and maybe it was closer to 8. So a couple hours after my dad got there, and my sister just, I guess she could have worded it better, but she told the doctor, can I call my mom? She can't be here because she has COVID. I guess she said his wife.
Yeah.
And then the doctor's eyes kind of grew really wide and said, is this the wife you live with? And we're like, yes.
Yeah.
This is his wife, yeah. Did no one tell you that, he's been exposed to COVID? Like, it's been 3 hours, and my mom told the paramedics, and my dad knew, and he told people too.
Well, and this is like...
So they ordered a COVID test, finally, 3 hours later.
Yeah, well, and this is like I am not a doctor. Don't come at me for medical or legal advice. But if, when you get admitted to the ER, have your spiel. These are my symptoms. These are the medications that I'm taking. This is the most recent medication that I've taken, if it seems like that's where most of your symptoms and stuff are coming from. And these are what viruses I've been exposed to. And anytime someone enters your room that is a medical professional, you say that spiel, and you do not stop your spiel until you are done. Because they don't talk to each other.
Apparently not. That was the most frustrating thing.
Yeah, no, you got to make sure that you're telling everybody the exact same thing. Because they don't always get a chance to talk to each other. You've got so many people coming in and out, you don't know who knows what. So you just tell everybody the exact same thing as soon as they walk in that door.
Well, there was the one nurse and the one doctor. There were two people coming in and out. And they should have asked. And my dad should have told them too.
Yeah.
The good news is they did know he had surgery. I guess that was recorded on his chart or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So they checked that out. There wasn't any infection that they could see. It was a separate issue, like I said, with the medicine that he was prescribed. He was in the hospital he was discharged on Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah.
Because technically they could have watched the kids on Thursday. And I was like, thanks, but no thanks. But y'all need to get better.
But they did do a COVID test. And my dad tested positive, yet he had 0 symptoms.
But they've been talking about asymptomatic positive people for years. Because COVID's been around for years now.
I didn't think that was a thing. I thought they changed their mind.
They might have, but with all the other stuff that your dad had going on, when would COVID even have a chance to throw itself into the mix? He was so broken.
I mean, he probably should have had a cough, I would imagine.
They did do some things about his chest. And so that could have been due to COVID.
But it would have came back, I feel like.
He was also on a lot of medications. They put him on a lot of stuff when they admitted him.
No, they didn't. They put him on just a general antibiotic and then just lots of fluid, like electrolytes.
That's what plants crave.
And then they finally gave him his blood pressure medicine that he was on or whatever. But yeah, kind of a scary situation. Like I said, the symptoms, the reason why he went there was a serious reason. I'm not going to say what it was, but it was a serious reason.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of scary. My mom was calling me, and I'm like, I ain't a doctor. I can't help you.
Get him to one.
Call an ambulance.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Be prepared to spend a few thousand.
Yikes, yeah. Hopefully his deductible is...
He's met his deductible for the year. I can almost certainly guarantee that by now.
Yeah, with the surgery and everything.
What are you supposed to do when the power's out?
I don't know.
The dogs are sleeping. One of them's snoring. They never snore, so they must be really relaxed. They're probably like, all the electronics aren't making noise that only we can hear. Ah.
Yeah, for real.
We can watch The Mandalorian. Hope.
Could watch it on our phone, but...
That's too much work. To download the Disney Plus app, I have to use a bunch of data.
I already have it on my phone.
We have to conserve power. Or we just have to get ready to go to a grandparent's house tomorrow.
Well, the good news is 13 Below didn't lose power from what I could see.
Are you sure?
But they're probably closed.
Let me see.
They didn't say it, and it didn't look like it was... It didn't look like the outage went to 50.
It might not have. Let me see if they have.
You said we were the edge, and we're before 50.
No, we're one side of the edge. That's not the one that they would be on.
They might have other issues, like with flooding, though.
Yeah, because I don't know what the river level is right now. Hey, we're down to 40,000 people without power.
Yeah, notice that they go to the east side first.
No, they might not have power.
What other breweries might have power? We can just hang out there all day.
We can go hang out at West Side, Best Side.
We haven't been there all year.
We have not. We have a mug.
We have a mug, and we have to pick up the t-shirt.
Oh, we're those people this year.
I know. I was going to suggest that we go, like, the other night when we went out, but we don't want to eat out of a food truck. And then I thought, well, we could go to Nation, and then we could go to West Side, but then I didn't think the kids would be able to handle that.
It depends on the day with them.
Well, by the time you got home and by the time we would have gotten there and eaten everything, it would have been like 8 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess we get power back eventually.
It's still unknown.
Yeah.
It doesn't even say what the problem is, does it?
No. But I'm pretty sure that 13 Below doesn't have power. They're in the map.
Addison.
Yeah.
They didn't say it, though.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that they didn't post. It doesn't mean that they posted anything, though.
There wasn't a ton of people there when we went the other night.
No.
And the Friday before Elliot's birthday. I mean, they were putting chairs up at like 9 o'clock.
Brian might not have power. It's fun to just zoom in on all the little areas where people don't have power.
Yeah, it's just
We're like-
random pockets.
Yeah, well, because it's trees that fell down.
I might go get the peanut butter stout. Should I venture to the beer fridge all the way downstairs?
We should not be opening up fridges until we know when we're getting power back.
We have to save the beer, though.
We gotta save everything else in the fridge, too. Because I got good stuff in the freezer right now.
Well, I can open the freezer.
They're connected. Your freezer is what helps keep your fridge cold.
Yeah.
I'm a fun killer, I know.
I still might do it.
Oh my goodness.
Is there anything else you wanted to say?
No, I said all the stuff that I wanted to say until you went on your... I'm gonna go sit on my chaise and watch out the window because we have no power, so I can see outside real clear.
Yeah. So if you like this random show, you can like follow and subscribe to us on the social medias. And we have a YouTube and as well.
Mm-hmm.
And and we have a website, craftparentingpodcast.com. And you can follow me at craftparentingjoe.
And I am at Caroline Creates Crafts.
And we will see you next time, hopefully with the power back on.
We'll see. Or we'll be in somebody's basement because that's where we live now. Broke into the old apartment.
No, we're not breaking in anywhere.
I'm just singing a Bare Naked Ladies song.
Yeah, and that's not even truth in advertising because we cover this. They are a bunch of old white Canadian men.
But seriously, they have a YouTube video series that's like hella old now, where it's the bathroom sessions. You should listen to them because they are amazing. And some of them are hilarious.
Indeed.
Okay, bye.